Oh, hello.
Hey, Dan.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. So, I'm tired tonight. Oh.
I hear you.
What am I doing? Hi, Natalie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for dropping off the Lawrence Foundation.
Yeah,
stuff
no
for me.
problem. Reminds me. Yeah, your husband came out. He's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, because I was standing at the door. He came out of the garage. I'm like, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I wasn't home. I think I was dropping or picking someone up from basketball.
Yeah, because the garage door was open, so I kind of figured that. So.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
How's it
Michelle.
going?
This is in Dolby surround sound.
Whew. Michelle, when and Melissa, when we're in these Zooms, do you hear my air conditioner?
No.
Ah, sweet. Okay.
Why did you turn it off?
No, it's on. So it must be that other call that we do.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Berner did just send me a text and said he might be a minute or two late.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Guess it's 7 o'clock. Eric is not able to attend the meeting tonight, so I told him I'd help out. We'll call the May 18th Recreation Board meeting to order. I guess we can do a roll call with Melissa. Is that okay?
Sure. Eric Estabrook will be absent this evening. Sally Donato.
Hello.
Kate Fanning.
Here.
Sally McAvoy. Angela Dewin. Steve Brunner.
Here.
Eric Donahue.
Here.
Andrea Berger. And Natalie Loeb.
Here. Here.
All right, great. Thanks, Melissa. Do we have any public comment? And before we, Mike, we have you on the agenda, so we'll get you at a different spot in the meeting. But do we have any other public comment? Okay. I need approval of the April 2021 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
Second.
okay. Kate, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Approval of the financial report. I guess that's where I would review the financial report. As you guys can see, once again, it's kind of, we're starting to see an uptick in certain expenses. Some general maintenance, labor at the Stone House, playground general maintenance. You'll see almost $4,000 at the pool. And by next month, it'll probably have almost doubled that, if not more. We did, I will just kind of quickly mention, you guys probably heard on the news that there's been there might possibly be a shortage of chlorine. There's not, from the research we've done and the suppliers we've spoken to, there's not going to be a shortage of the liquid chlorine for the pool. We have plenty of that. We shouldn't have a problem, knock on wood. The shortage is with the shock product, the tablets that we use for the baby pool. And again, just kind of my reasoning for pointing that out here is we went and got kind of almost the whole season's worth in advance. We weren't trying to go and rob the stores or anything of their supplies, but we just got whatever they would give to us. So as far as the pool goes, we should be okay with those products. Again, kind of the playground materials and supplies are starting to kick in there. And that should be it. Does anybody have any questions for the financial report?
Soon we're going to be talking about where we stand with membership later on.
Yes, we can. Yes. Yep. Okay, my report. My apologies. I don't have it on me. Give me a sec.
Dan, you have to make a motion to accept the.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Can I get a motion to accept the financial report?
So moved.
Is there a
I'll second it.
I'll second.
Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. Just give me 1 second. I apologize, guys. I forgot to print that off. Okay, I'm just going to read it from here. So the newsletter's gone out, the rec guide is going out. I'm sure all of you guys have received that by now. We're continuing to interview playground leaders, lifeguards, front desk staff, and now snack bar positions. Just want to say thanks to Kate for being such a huge help in the past with getting getting the lifeguards and getting them on track. That's been a big task. So thanks to her. Julie Keller will not be returning this year to the playground. So I interviewed and hired Jessica Edwards and Colleen Geringer, and they're going to be coordinators of each at. Jessica will be at Wyomissing Hills, and Colleen will be at Happy Hollow. They've both been there, for a couple of years. I think they're going to do a great job. Kind of as I said, we're continuing to work on the pool. Donna Dojan will be back again this year. She's working on getting the snack bar ready. We're hoping to have the snack bar ready by Memorial Day weekend. It shouldn't be an issue. Just we run into any snags there. Earth Day was a great success. We had over 30 volunteers for the Earth Day cleanup, and thank you to the rec board members and their family that showed up. That was a huge help. I will point out that pretty much everybody came back and said they had a hard time finding trash in our parks, which is an awesome thing. That's actually a really good thing to hear. So we had our trout fishing rodeo. There was about 600 fish, a little over 600 fish stocked in the creek. We had about approximately 67 children and then the family show up. That was a huge success. Memorial Day committee had met. We're kind of solidifying, our final preparations for the event on the 29th at 11. And I just wanted to point out lastly that, when we were stocking the fish the Friday before the rodeo, it was kind of cool because a lot of residents that were just in the park showed up and helped us stock the fish, and it kind of turned into a little event in itself. So that was a really neat thing. Just kind of wanted to point that out. And again, thanks all the rec board members and community volunteers who have helped to make these events successful so far. It's been great. My first couple events have been really fun, and I'm really happy to be part of this. So with that, can I get a motion to accept the director's report?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Committee reports. Sorry, was there a question there, Sally? Are you good?
Oh, no, good.
Okay. Committee reports, well, I guess again, that's probably goes back to Memorial Day committee. Again, we're moving forward with that. Everything's going well. We have pretty much everybody lined up that needs to be there. Again, it'll be May 29th at 11 a.m. So anybody who's interested in coming, come on out. It's going to be, we'll be socially distanced, and should be a good time. So hopefully it's a little extra special this year. So that's kind of committee reports. Does anybody, or I guess I should get a motion to approve that report.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, old business. We have Mike Fitzgerald from Lawrence Foundation here. He'd like to speak a little bit about the foundation and what they do here in the borough, and maybe some potential collaborations. So we'll give Mike the floor, and of course, if you have any questions afterwards, please don't hesitate to ask him. So, go ahead, Mike. It's all yours.
Great, thanks, Dan. Did you have a chance to distribute the annual reports that I dropped off?
I have, to as many as I could,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Most of them have received it.
Okay, so, yeah, so for those of you who may not know me, Mike Fitzgerald, my daughter Lauren went through the Wyomissing school system, graduated in 2003, and as a freshman student at Drexel was diagnosed with a brain tumor that would claim her life a little over a year later. So we started a foundation in her honor, and I'm assuming many of you are aware that we do the annual Fitzy's Run, most lately for several years now from the Stonehouse Park. And I put together an annual report just because I think some of the things we do may be well-kept secrets as far as some of our outreach programs and some of our charitable funds. So I just wanted to make sure that you folks had access to that information since you have graciously provided us with a venue all these years. And we have tried to reciprocate as well by supporting the borough. But Dan and I got to talking a couple of weeks ago about ways that we might increase or improve that support. And we talked about a number of different things, playground equipment that's outdated or adaptive playground equipment, and just kind of brainstorming ideas like how we might be able to collaborate a little more between our foundation, which is a nonprofit, and the borough to provide more community events or improve community events and perhaps the borough's bottom line as a result, and some of the things that we might be able to provide support for. And one of the things I threw out is that our annual run is the last Sunday of October each year, and that's by intention because my daughter was born on Halloween Day actually, and that's the theme of the run is a Halloween event. So this year it happens to be Halloween, that is the last Sunday of the month, so that's when we'll be conducting our run. And just wanted to see if there was interest on the borough's part of doing something maybe jointly. We typically have our run in the morning, we typically have food, but I was thinking something more of a carnival atmosphere where maybe we incorporate a children's parade. A lot of schools don't do Halloween parades anymore, and I thought it might be nice for parents to have an opportunity to bring their children to the Stonehouse to do a parade in costume, maybe walk around the pond. We would be able to provide any needs as far as candy and bags and things like that. And I had talked to Michelle and Dan previously about the possibility of having food trucks at such an event. And while I know they're not typically permitted for private events, to the extent it's a borough event or maybe a nonprofit, that there might be something that could be done in that respect. But I could foresee a number of possibilities, maybe even fundraising specifically at that event for a borough need, whether that's a specific piece of equipment or specific improvements at a particular playground. There's a number of possibilities, hay rides, the parade I mentioned earlier, carnival games, things like that, but things that might bring out some more people and perhaps help support some of the goals of the borough. So I just wanted to put that out there. We would love to be part of that and see if we can play a larger role than we have in the past. Now, to a caveat, we're not, a huge nonprofit by any means. We do make an annual donation to the borough as a result of our run. I believe with the donation from this last January, over the last several years, we've donated $16,000 to support children's programs and through the rec department and through the police departments. But we could do a little more. And I just want to explore ways how that might work and how it might help us as far as what we do. I have to be honest, over the years, we provide a lunch buffet with our event, and it's a lot of work. And it's really become somewhat of a one-man show, and a number of the other directors have left the area. And I'd love to see where we can get something going that supports the borough and allows us to continue what we're doing and maybe improve upon it.
Okay.
Sounds lovely, and thank you. Thank you for the
Yes,
information.
thank you.
Absolutely. And so, whatever, I guess I'll keep in touch with Dan, but if there are some things we can do for this upcoming event, Obviously, we would need to start promoting those things shortly. We often promote our event at events in West Reading like Art on the Avenue and Fall Fest. So if they're having those events this year, it'd be nice to have information to hand out to people to advertise that.
Mike, it's Steve Brenner. Just again, thank you for all you've done and that run. It's obviously for a great cause. Did you say the run's always on a Sunday and it's a Sunday morning?
It is, but I think the event, for the runners, typically the run is 10:15 for the runners, and then we have a kids run about an hour later. But I'm thinking of an event that kind of rolls into the afternoon. So if people don't want to show up, maybe the parade's at noon or 1, realizing some people are going to have church obligations.
That's my concern. I mean, even when we have, well, I assume we're going to be talking about this shortly with the 4th of July. I think historically the 4th of July never starts before 1 o'clock on a Sunday. Now, I'm not saying that the run shouldn't start before. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't know how the borough would react to doing something before noon on a Sunday. I just don't know how that would work. And I'm not saying they wouldn't do it. It would be one of my concerns.
No, I don't think the borough would need to step in officially. I mean, it could be, we do our conventional run, kids run awards, and around noon or 1, we could roll out. And now we're doing the children's parade, or we're going to do the hay rides. So I don't see a problem with the timing there. We can kind of fill up the morning with our traditional events. And then if we have some things that we're doing collaboratively, those could happen from noon on.
Okay, great.
And thank you for your comments.
I'm wondering if this is, we have the Spooky Hollow event. I don't know when we have that slated for. Do we have a date for that, Dan?
Yeah, actually, that was an idea I had too. And I don't know, it's kind of odd this year being on Halloween. Like the Stonehouse itself could perhaps be some kind of attraction. We were actually thinking, we normally provide childcare for our run, and we were thinking this year, in light of the pandemic, we normally hold the childcare in the Stonehouse, but we thought this year we might do a tent just so we're outdoors and not keeping the kids in enclosed spaces, which would mean that building would be more open if we wanted to use it for some Halloween type, event, whether it was a haunted house theme or something like that. Yeah.
Might not be a bad idea to talk about how you can intertwine the two. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if do we have a date for that, Dan? Do we pick a date?
I doubt we, because we don't know what we can do.
You're
Last month
muted.
we didn't know what we could do.
Dan, do you realize you're muted?
Yeah, I got it now. Sorry about that. I usually keep it on and I muted myself. Sorry about that. Saturday, October 16th is what we have in the rec guide, but we're far enough ahead. I wouldn't see a problem with advertising it, that it's changed. I think people can understand that with the current situation, kind of going on. Try to do our best with the scheduling. So
We have to brainstorm on that one, because the Sunday part concerns me from the borough perspective.
okay.
And maybe it's just me, and if it is, great. Because it doesn't really bother me. I'm just concerned that a Sunday would be a issue.
Well, do we have concerts in the park on Sunday nights?
Sunday nights, I got no problem with Sunday night. I'm not talking about Sunday night.
Oh, Sunday in the morning.
Yeah,
Right. All right. Sounds like we're headed for the afternoon.
yeah, that's great.
So, for someone, we need a very creative person.
And
Come
just,
up with something to link up.
I would note that with the run, we typically get about, this was pre-COVID, but we typically get about 500 runners,
Mhm.
probably another couple hundred spectators on top of that. So we get a good sized crowd even at that time of day. And then we kind of roll into our typical luncheon. And I guarantee you what we'll bring people out is we do food trucks. And I also thought a nice angle on this, there's a lot of restaurants that took a hurt with the pandemic, and to offer them an opportunity to come in. I'm not interested in making money off of them. I don't know what the borough's policies on that would be, but just to give them an opportunity to sell goods and, maybe recoup some of their losses from the year of COVID might be a nice gesture to invite those folks in and let them participate.
Mike, I'm sorry if you mentioned, how long does the race, roughly how long until the last runner comes across the finish line? Isn't it like in some cases an hour and a half? I mean,
Yeah,
I know it's only a 5K, but
Yeah, we have some walkers. I mean, they show up intending to walk, so they're going to be probably an hour and a quarter. So then we're looking at, if we get off on time, we're probably looking at 11:30. And then by the time we do awards, that's a good half hour. We're at noon or after before the run is done. And usually somewhere right around 11:30, we do the kids run, and we usually get good participation there. Our event being a Halloween themed event, we have a lot of people that show up in costume already,
Right.
and adults. So we're just thinking we could expand upon that and grow upon that. And we can adjust our timeline for the after the run stuff fairly easily. The run's typically at 10:15, but any kids run could be delayed a little bit if we needed to. So we can be flexible on that. There is a brochure in the packets. Actually, no, I'm sorry, there's not. I just got the brochures printed, but there is a tentative timeline in the event brochure.
What would we be thinking would be a decent time? Like I know, like Steve said, like the parade is typically 1 o'clock. What could be an acceptable, kind of afternoon event start time?
I think 1 o'clock would be fine, especially if people have things to do before that. If they do opt to show up early, like carnival games or get some food. So I think 1 o'clock would be a perfect time for maybe having the children's parade. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's easily workable from our standpoint.
Are we? Does anybody have any objections? I mean, I don't know if we even have to do this, but kind of presenting this to council and getting their kind of getting their feel for it. Presenting something like this, a joint event. I mean, or does anybody?
Dan, I think we need to sit down and discuss exactly what we would do before we take it to council.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would also encourage you to maybe, come up with a list of things that perhaps you'd like to act upon within the borough by way of maintenance or purchasing something that, we could help with, and as a possibility, maybe making that part of the advertising of this event. Come to the children's parade, come to the run, and we're going to be collecting for this piece of equipment or this maintenance project or, whatever it is that we want to target. And that obviously would be, your wheelhouse, not mine. So,
I mean, would it make sense to, I mean, I know we're going to be getting busy with the 4th of July. Would it make sense to at least form a committee? So when we do have time to meet, the committee's set and we can move forward with, coming up with some ideas.
Agree.
Okay, does anybody want to volunteer for that? I believe Pete did say, I hope he did say he would be interested in helping out. So, I can reach out to him, just kind of make sure that he's interested. Does anybody else?
Yeah, I would definitely be interested. And just to clarify, so are we thinking that we would not have our own Spooky Hollow event? Like we would just combine and just do one event, or we would have both?
I think that's what we should talk about. We should have a committee to kind of weigh our options and see what's going to offer, the best service to the residents of the borough, and, kind of course, help an opportunity to help a foundation that helps us. I'm not, if we decide we want to just do our own thing, that's fine. But my personal opinion, I think we should at least entertain it and talk about it at some point.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's a great idea to be involved. So I would definitely want to be on that committee.
Okay.
I'll go on it as well.
Okay. And anybody else?
Dan, this is Eric. I would help too.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to decline from that committee, but I like the idea of a children's parade. The costumes are already purchased and organized, and they have another opportunity to use them.
Sure. Okay.
That's
Cool. So
my
Mike,
2
so Mike, I'd say we'll get together and talk, and certainly, again, if the committee's okay with it, we definitely want to have you involved in those talks. So I'll kind of, we'll get together at some point and talk and try to iron that out. But as you know, next month and a half is going to be a little busy for everybody. But I think we'll definitely try to, because I know that there's time constraints on your end, things you've got to start doing. So I think we can do it. So we'll definitely try to make time to talk about that.
Great. Well, thank you all for your time and your consideration.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
So next thing, if everybody's okay, should we just leave July 4th for the very last topic? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I have another topic added on here. I want to bring up to you guys, and it kind of goes into playground and pool. We're having a little bit of a staffing issue. Playground, lifeguard staff, we have 26 staff members. We're normally up in the 30, 31 would be a good number. So we're not in a terrible situation with them. Playground, we have 30. We're usually right around there. We do have some pretty big numbers this year, so I'd like to possibly see some more there if we can. Front desk, we have 8, which I think we should be good there. Snack bar, besides Donna Dojan, we have 2. And in order to operate a full snack bar this year, we're going to need a few more people than that for that. So Michelle and I have reached out to the school district. I'm going to be sending them a flyer first thing tomorrow to have that distributed to students there. But kind of just, we wanted to kind of put you guys on notice that there's a little bit of a staffing issue. And if we can, if anybody has any contacts, anybody that's looking for, a summer job, please send them our way. And kind of the harsh reality of it is if we don't get some more staff, we may have to kind of limit some hours to certain services. We definitely don't want to do that, but and we'll certainly I'm going to look at offering snack bar, for example. If there's a desk staff member that's not working today and wants to come and get some extra hours, we'll certainly train them to be in the snack bar. Same with lifeguards, playground leaders. We'll do what we can there. But as it stands right now, we're kind of a little low.
And to add to that, of let's just say lifeguards, of those 26 lifeguards, how many actually have their clearances and that they can work?
It's across the board, not a lot of them. That's the other thing.
So that's our other issue we're having is we have people who have committed to, yes, I'll take the position, but have had absolutely no follow through with submitting required clearances. And Dan and I made a decision, here on moving forward, if your clearances aren't in, you're not working. We're not chasing people down to hand in paperwork. We have one employee from last year who still hasn't handed in something that we can pay them. Like, we still have a paycheck we need to give them because they have still not given us what they need to for us to be able to pay them. And, I don't think it's our responsibility to have to, hound these kids to get their paperwork in. If you want to work for us, that's great. But Dan has limited time, as does the rest of us, that, we can follow up. Kate, I know you were amazing with texting and reaching out to pool staff. Dan spent 2 hours Sunday sitting at Borough Hall. It was an open invitation to any staff member. You want to come work for us? We'll be here at Borough Hall. We have all the software set up. We can get you into our system, bring your required paperwork with. We'll pretty much do everything with you. One kid showed up.
And
So
I
that's
Hold
what
on
we're
one
up
second.
against.
Hold on one second. So the one employee from last year has a naturalization issue, right, with the Social Security card. So he's been in contact with me, as is his mother, and he's working on that. That wasn't by choice. And I remember that the borough let him work without it. So he's trying. And so I'm going to defend him a little because some of that having a Social Security is out of his hands.
Fair. That's completely fair.
because he was born in another country. So I think, or something like that. So the guards, you know, I don't know what to tell you. It's not from lack of me trying. My clearances are not up to date, so apparently I am not going to have a job as of Friday. But I know that Susan Walmer leaving is a huge burden, you know, on Dan, on you, on the borough. So what we're saying is, I think because Susan's leaving and she's the last days this week, that I don't know who's doing the paperwork.
Well,
after
Phyllis is doing the paperwork. I mean, the issue is not someone doing the paperwork. The issue is we need these kids, you know, whether Sue was leaving or not, the pool opens next Friday.
Right, it was connected to me with Susan when it was explained to me. So I was trying to figure out, you know, what's going on.
Well, it was on my end, it was like, look, we need, you know, the only hope of kids starting on time right now is with Sue. And after that, we can't guarantee, you know, I'm going to have to pick up a whole lot of this stuff. I mean, I'm you know, some of these topics I'm about to talk about, I have other things I have to do than to you know, constantly be chasing these kids. I get it. That one individual makes perfect sense. It was just an example. Like, there was numerous people from last year that didn't have clearances, and we're seeing it's kind of a trend. I mean, the same people from last year are the same ones, you know, doing it this year. And again, it's not just the lifeguards. It's completely 100% across the board. They're categorized in a couple different categories with different colors, and my page is very colorful. It's all over the place. So
is there any reason we're not allowed to know who the one person is that has all the stuff in?
No, I don't know. It's just no one said his name, so I was being discreet.
I would say it's a
minor. I don't mean last year's person. I mean, who's the one lifeguard that has their stuff in for this year?
No. There's more than one lifeguard that has their stuff in. It's just there was one person came, and there was a little communication issue. But I mean, I had all the playground staff, front desk staff. You know, I know there was a little communication issue on my end with Kate, and I fixed that, and I believe I sent out a text to everybody who's either in process of doing or not started, in process, or missing information. So I sent out a text and said, look, I'll be here all day tomorrow. Come here, call me. We'll meet on the side, whatever. We'll get it set up. So, you know, because I know they have school, but they're home. They can kind of, you know, adjust their schedule accordingly. I have been getting text messages and emails. We've been really kind of picking up on that end. But yeah, we're still not looking great. I understand that it was done that way last year, but I don't know, maybe again, kind of wheel me back in, you know, pull me back in if I'm going overboard, but I really don't want people working where my child goes to a pool or goes to a playground and they don't have a background check. So
I agree.
It's just my personal opinion, you know.
No, of course. When were those texts sent? When was that last text sent to the different people? I got one today. Did you send them out today to people?
I'd have to go in here and look. It was the other day. I may not. I think for you two, I knew that you guys were working on it. I kind of excluded you from it, but overall, I'm looking. I've got like 30 texts just in the last couple of days. So I don't know exactly. It was I believe it was Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
So, and again, if they don't show up, that's fine. I'll offer more time slots that I can help them out. But I was just trying to get as many people as I possibly could in here. So just, if anybody knows.
This is Eric. I can always share something with the people at Berks Catholic. I don't know if you sent anything up there for those high school kids.
I did. I did. I sent it. Oh,
you did?
I'm sorry. No, as far as employment opportunities, no.
Right.
I'll send you the same announcement tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be great, and I'll share it with them, and then they can send it out for their students.
Okay, I'm writing a note for myself right now.
Yeah, we have a larger problem at hands that just hit me at 6:30 tonight when I pulled up the McDonald's to buy a quarter pounder with cheese that cost $14 because next to the window next to it said, come work for us for the summer. You're going to get paid $15 an hour.
Right.
So it's not going to be fixed this year, but we have a long-term big problem if we're going to continue to pay at $7, but that comes as a cost because you get a $14 hamburger and fries and soda versus the nice cheap summer events that you get at the pool and the playground. Could be a big problem.
Yep.
Agreed.
Okay.
So I don't know how else to help you. So let me know.
No, you've been more than helpful. That wasn't, no, hopefully.
I know,
you
but I'm still saying,
understand that.
how do I help? Like,
Yeah,
I need
I'll get
guards
with you
to
more.
pull stuff.
You've been doing great at, I'm
Right.
trying to juggle everything. So
Right.
occasionally here or there, something's missed. I'm trying to do my best with this. So, and yeah, like, I think, like, Sue leaving is huge for us. So,
Was the one person that came Josh? Yes. Oh, good.
sorry,
Success.
we shouldn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
I don't want
sorry.
to, we shouldn't be saying people's names, but that's all right. Yeah, that
That's
was
awesome. That means I did my job there. There we
yeah,
go. It worked.
yeah.
So.
Okay,
All right.
great. So if you guys are okay, I'll move on to the next playground program. Again, I met with the coordinators today. We're gonna try to get a group of kids together, and we're gonna look at the supplies we have and all that fun stuff because there's some old stuff in there. So we'll be working on that this weekend. Wyomissing Hills Citizen Social Committee contacted me, and they're once again they want to donate money to help buy supplies or fund programs. So I'm coordinating that with them. They asked what our needs were, and I said, I know at Wyomissing Hills Playground there's a karaoke machine that broke, and they said that the kids love it. So they do that nighttime playground. So I said, maybe something like that would help us out. But after this weekend, when we have our list of needs, we'll kind of move forward with that. If as long as everybody's okay with kind of using the money in that fashion. So that's that. Again, we kind of heard about the pool. We're gonna have to do the COVID protocols through May 30th, and then May 31st it goes kind of to normal. If you want to call it that. We're gonna open up the snack bar, hopefully, and we'll have a full menu. But Donna is understanding that if she doesn't have the staff that day, we'll kind of scale it back and just do the simple items. So again, just so people are aware that could happen. But I'm hoping in the next week or two we turn around. So that's how with the pool. The pool was filled again. We had some major environmental issues there, and the pool's filled and filtering and should be getting chlorine tomorrow, so that's good. The concerts and movie in the park. We have Josh Squared reserved for June 13th. And I just wanted to check with everybody, is that an okay, does that seem okay? Does anybody see any conflicts with it? And if not, I can get them contracted. That would be Sunday.
Are we talking about now moving it back to the park?
Yes, because council voted for everything to go back to pre-COVID.
Okay.
Yes, I apologize. That went out in the email, but yes, everything will go back.
Just checking.
No, I appreciate that. Pre-COVID, with the exception of any kind of governor mandates that we need to follow.
Yep.
So is everybody okay with the 13th for Josh Squared? Okay. The Renting Pops are contracted for July 11th. The Ringgold Band is contracted for July 25th, and that's also the Lantern Parade. the movie at the Stone House. I'm working on that. I think that we'll do that on the 6th, if that's okay with everybody. That was kind of one of those that was to be determined. And then also the Wyomissing band and the movie in the park of Wyomissing Hills, their availability would be the 20th. Again, if everybody's okay with that, I'll just move forward getting those contracted. And if anybody has any ideas for movies for those two, I'm not sure how you've done that in the past, but if you have any ideas for movies, send them my way, please. Okay, so that brings us to, there aren't any questions about any of that. I'll pop to the big one. July 4th parade. Can we, I think if we could, can we discuss, I think we probably need to decide a theme. And I send some recommendations. I think this year is probably a pretty good year to recognize, essential workers, hospital workers, teachers, police, firefighters, public works, grocery store workers. I think that would be personally, again, if anybody has any other ideas, let me know. But I really think that would be, this is probably a great time the best time, if any, to honor essential workers.
Yeah, Dan, I would agree with that. Absolutely. I mean, I think that would probably be the best suited theme considering the year we just had.
Yeah. And if any, yeah, great. And if anybody has any, I just had quick kind of pulled some ideas. I think I said celebrating essential workers or honoring essential workers or something. Does anybody have any other, or can we kind of pick one, or does anybody have any other recommendations for that?
My only question is, how do you honor them? How are we honoring them? Just naming it in the parade, we're honoring our essential workers, or?
Well, that was what I was going to get to is, we could kind of solicit or, kind of send a request out to the hospitals and those different essential jobs and say, hey, you want to come be in our parade, have, Reading Hospital, St. Joe's come, invite your employees to come walk in our parade or have a float. So, people.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think if people know that that's the theme, if we can get enough like kids or, cars or whatever that are in there that have signs or something going along with that theme, I think that would be a way to at least to honor them. I mean, I agree with you, Steve. We have to figure that out, but that might be one way.
Right. Or celebrating. I mean, again, does anybody have any other? The thing is, we kind of got to decide on that because it's seems funny to me, but I mean, I've got to order the buttons. So, little things like this, I would need to know because I need to get that stuff going.
How about a tribute to essential workers?
Tribute to essential workers. That's a good one.
Good.
Just stole it right off the internet, so it's not mine.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Good, that works.
You should have taken credit.
Nope. I put a footnote on it.
There you go.
I mean, people get really creative with that. It's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Good idea.
I think that's good. I think that's good. I'd roll with that.
Maybe we contact the principals at each school and see if there's a group that wants to organize before they leave the building for the year.
Well, like organize like a float or
just walking together or matching shirts or.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll put letters out to everybody, as many as I can fire off that printer. I'll put them out. So, sure. Are we okay with tribute to essential workers? Is that something we would typically, I apologize, I don't know. Is that something we would typically have to do a formal vote on, or?
You can't hurt.
Okay. Can I get a motion to name the 2021 July 4th theme tribute to essential workers?
I'll make a motion.
You have a second?
I will second.
Even all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. And I'll just say this last thing here, and everybody jump in where we need to be, what we need to be doing. My one question was the pie eating contest. I'm not sure with COVID and everything if we should do that. I don't want to mess up tradition. I grew up here. I'm all for the tradition here. I'm just curious what your thoughts are with having people eating pie.
I mean, I would say, considering Eric Esterbrook and I normally do it, and people jump in and help us, even with them, changing it. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I don't know if that's possible to do one that close together, but I would be for it. I just don't know if it's feasible this year. But I would go with whatever everybody thinks.
And again, if we decided, fine, I would need to know so I can get the shirts ordered. But I just, my initial thought was spit going everywhere, I don't know.
I just don't know if it'll look
Yeah,
good.
I'm sorry, that's where I was going with it, so.
The only way to,
Yeah.
I think the only way you can do it is you do one at a time and you have to time it, and the fastest one gets, and that defeats the purpose. So listen.
Yeah, that would take way too long.
And we're doing a tribute to essential workers. We're going to do a pie eating contest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we
Enough
can skip
said.
the pie eating contest this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
make giant pie in 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, on my end, like I said to you guys, I sent out multiple emails to multiple groups and bands and just whatever participants that I could see from years past, and said, hey, do you want to be on a standby list? Within 5 minutes, I got multiple emails coming back. And then once council approved the 4th of July parade, I sent out an email and said, let's get, we're going. And I've got several bands contracted for the parade. And I have a couple, antique car people, things like that that are interested. So on that end, we're looking good. I reserved the dunk tank for, I think it's the wrestling team. So that's taken care of. I'll order the buttons. We have the flags from last year. We didn't use them. So we should actually have plenty of flags for this year. I think at this point, if anybody knows any groups, any participants that want to be involved, send them my way. I can send them a participant form, whether it's a group or a single participant, we can send them the registration form.
So we're planning on doing the 4th of July down in the park as we have, minus the pie eating contest. Fair statement?
And my one question, I know we spoke of this about Mike a little bit. I just want to kind of point this out. One of the bands, the Buccaneers, actually had pointed out to me, they were a little concerned about the parade starting at 1 because it's a lot of older people in the band, and they were concerned about the temperature at that time of day. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't know, that's a good point. If it's a really hot day, we might have people watching the parade dropping. It's happened before. So again, I'm okay with whatever, but I
The
just
parade's been going on for 100 years. What have we done every Sunday?
Yeah, all I could find was I went back to 2010. It was 1 o'clock. I don't.
I just don't know that you can change that. I don't know if you can go before that.
Okay.
Maybe noon. Maybe you could do noon. I don't know.
I'll do whatever we decide on, whatever you guys want to do.
Was there a time announced in the rec guide?
No, that was to be determined. That there was minimal information on that because it was so close.
Right.
No, there's
Well, high noon. It's worse than 1, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You need to start gathering at, let's say, 10:30.
I'd say just keep it at 1. We've done it that way for every Sunday that I know of.
okay. They're the only band that pointed that out. I just was trying to bring up a piece of
I
information.
totally
to you.
get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. So 1 o'clock.
Sort of like celebrate at your own risk. I don't know.
Sure. No, absolutely. Okay, so do we moving forward want to have some more informal meetings where we can get together, go over things, talk about things? Again, this is, I've watched the parade my entire life, but I never really was involved in planning it. So you guys are the experts here. I'm just trying to pick up from that giant book that Rob has up here on, that I have up on my wall up here. So
It's probably not a bad idea, considering how late we're getting started, and just to make sure that everything is in line, because it is the biggest event of the year.
And I mean, we have to get people to go to these meetings. We just can't, we can't, we just got to get to the meetings. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. We might as well get to the meetings. That all being said, I'm in 100 meetings a month anyways, it is. So add one more, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Do we,
And
sorry, Kate, go
typically,
ahead.
Dan, we, like, each of us takes a certain job that day. and
Okay.
Covers it, so that in the meetings, I'll say to you, oh, I'll handle stuff, setting stuff up at the Stone House. Okay, I'll handle organizing the, so we'll, everybody, all hands on deck, so we get it
Okay.
done. But a meeting absolutely is, the more that we can have, the better.
Okay. Do we want to, would we want to do a in-person distance meeting at the Stone House sometime soon? And if so, can we all decide on a time right now, time and day?
Yep.
Day and time.
Michelle, I assume it has to be a public meeting, right? I mean, I don't care that it is, but I assume it has to be, right?
You have a quorum of rec board members, yes.
So we have to give it enough time to announce it, right?
Okay. Melissa, I think we need, what, 3 days?
Correct.
So anytime next week, you would be fine.
Okay.
Dan, do you think it'd be easier just to send out an email to get that date, considering there's a couple of rec board members that aren't on this call, including Eric?
Yeah, that would be okay. I just, I didn't know if there was a consensus on what was a good day. For everybody that's here, what's a good, just every night for what's a good night for everybody? Just, Monday, Tuesdays are best, whatever. And we have an idea.
I mean, I'll go with, I can work my schedule around what everybody
Okay.
else is okay with.
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible too. I'm pretty flexible.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll just send an email out as soon as we get off of this.
Why don't we just stick to Tuesdays?
Tuesday? Okay. Or 7 o'clock? What time do we want to do?
7 would be good.
Okay, I'll send an email out for the rest for everybody. If you can all just, once again, just reply, that'll help me to keep track of it. Kind of.
And we should all
everybody-
try to be there just because we're
Sure.
we're all supposed to be at the parade.
Sure. Okay. For now, is everybody okay with that? And should we just move on to new business?
And did you get a hold of the lady, and I forget her name, that sort of helps run the parade on that day? Parade master?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything in the book.
We have a parade
Actually,
master.
she walks her dog up and down the boulevard every day. I see her. I just can't remember her name.
Yes. Hold on.
I can ask Rob.
Yeah, Rob would know.
Yeah.
Yes.
She does, she sort of lines people up and sets them apart and kind of makes sure everybody's spaced correctly, and
Okay.
It's nice.
Do we want to allow, are we still, if we're going with everything, we're going to have playground involved in this? Is that right? Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
did we get anybody last year who said they wanted to be in the parade last year that obviously didn't happen? That you know of? Like the class of the 30-year class reunion.
I emailed all of them, all of the ones that I know Councilman Woodward's group is involved.
Well, I just think that, and we don't do this now, but I think you should think about last year's 30th reunions and this year's 30th, have them both.
Yeah, I just emailed everybody, and if
And
they
whatever
were,
number of years they are, I have no idea.
yeah,
Might be me for all I know.
yeah, I mean, it was 60, 64, 69, 79, 99.
So now it'll be the zeros. So you might want to ask both of them.
Okay. And I can send some to the school, maybe they have contact with.
Yep.
Would anybody think it's a good idea to reach out to the school districts about all the seniors that didn't get actual commencement last year? To
That's
maybe
good.
walk?
A great idea.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah,
That's
I
a really
like
good
that.
idea.
I have one.
Hey,
That'd be
Morgan,
great.
what do you think?
I think
Morgan.
that's a good idea because I know a lot of them are already home now, and they were kind of itching to do something, and just them being together was kind of nice. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, if you could give them their own section, that'd be great.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an essential worker, but it's, that's an essential.
It doesn't have to be an essential worker.
No, sure. No. What I was getting at is, they suffer, they worked hard.
Yep.
this past year. So
You guys find out who the class president was and get a hold of them.
and that was class of 20, right?
I think it was Becca Catula, maybe.
That's exactly who it was.
Does anybody have her email that we can?
I can contact her mom.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, if you could.
Morgan, we'll put you in charge of that.
I'm in charge.
If you got her mom's name, go ahead.
Yeah.
I bet Morgan probably has her phone number though.
I don't know how this would go over, but I feel like I need to remind you that there's a portion of Wilson School District that's in the borough too.
They've never, I mean, I get it, but they've never walked before, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I get it. I mean, if we want to start that tradition, I think that might be a good year to start it next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, for me, my thought was, again, medical workers, our police and fire, our public works staff, our borough admin staff, that, school staff, all of them, they've all been, I think we're probably all in some way an essential worker, but they've all been here. None of us, at least on our end, that what I know from my experience, nobody got a day off. We were all here. So, I think that'd be awesome to honor all of them. But okay, cool. Well, we can talk more about that at our meeting. For number 8, I don't have any new business. I think for right now, thank God, that I can think of.
I won't mention I just got asked if a group could use the pool on Memorial Day weekend, so I told them to email you.
Yeah, that would, if it's Monday, yeah, they would be able to.
Somebody named Bruner, no, some baseball group.
Okay. And then correspondence, I don't have any. So if anybody has anything else, or if nobody has anything else, I should say, I'll make can we get a motion to adjourn?
Moved. I'll make a motion.
Eric, we have a second?
I can second the motion.
Sally. Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Cool. Okay. We'll see you guys soon, but our next rec board meeting will be Tuesday, June 15th at 7 p.m. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your
All right,
help.
thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.